Hello everyone and welcome to another item guide. I'm realBluTV, and remember, you gotta keep grinding. Anyways, I don't know what I was gonna say there, but we are talking about Dima's kit right now in this video, so let's just go ahead and dive right into it as quickly as possible. First round buy on offense, I usually go with the EMP nowadays. I used to go with the grenade mostly, but I always remember now that most people on my team are probably going to buy a grenade or a smoke first round. If we're loaded up on smokes, then I'll go with the grenade. But if we have someone who's able to grab the grenade or a lethal, then I, of course, will go with the EMP grenade. I think these are super useful. They're really good against anvil shields. They're really good to stop trenches from being able to put their APSs down as quickly as possible, especially if you're on a map like Lockdown and you're pushing that B site on attack inside the building. You're able to just cheaply throw these across the room super fast as soon as you get to that doorway. So these are super useful. Another reason why I go with the EMP most of the times first is because I'm able to grab kills or big explosive damage with my actual ability, which is the grenade launcher or the noob tube, whatever you want to call it, or the MERV launcher, which is the actual name. So you can always keep that in mind if you don't want to go with the nade. Nades are super helpful with Dima because his explosives reveal people if you hit them with it, not just downing them. So you could always go grenade as well. But to keep it as simple as possible, I usually go with the EMP. I don't usually use Dima on defense. Maybe you can use him on the favelas because of the small garage B site. You're able to get a lot of damage off with your explosive MERV launcher and your grenade as well. But mostly I'm not really looking to play Dima on defense, but it can be done. So of course I'm usually going with the EMP first. Now when it comes to his primary gun, this is your choice. I think both of these primary guns are actually really good. If we're playing Ronin, we're usually going with the Ka30. If we're playing Saint, we're usually going with the Mamba, but that could change because of the next patch coming. But of course this is up to you because both of these guns are really, really good. They just have different purposes, I believe. Right? The Ka30 is an automatic assault rifle. This is good for long range fights if you're able to aim. It's really good for up close fights too if you're playing on, say, like Icarus and things like that. If you play a really aggressive Dima, I would suggest going with the Ka30. The Mamba is really good because it's a 3-round burst. It is a DMR, right? I like this gun because it got buffed and because it's really strong, especially if you hit your headshots. You can pretty much dink people around super fast and effectively if you're able to hit those shots. I use the Mamba most of the time, unless, you know, in strikeout I could use the Ka30, but I like to use the Mamba. I do use the Ka30 from time to time if I'm feeling like that's the better gun for me, or maybe I'm just not hitting my shots on that given day, so I'll go with the Ka30. But this is ultimately your choice. For just the display options, we're going to go with the Mamba. Right now, for his perks, we do need the grenade as well, so we're going to go with that. We're also going to go with the double upgraded EMP. Not in this order, of course, but the double upgraded EMP is very good because it increases the EMP duration and you get an extra one, so you'll be able to double EMP a barricade if there's no other way to take it down if you don't have shredder rounds. Of course, you can get shredder rounds too, which would work better with the Ka30, of course, because it's an automatic rifle. The Mamba, a little bit of a slower firing rate, but you're still able to get the job done, right? When it comes to his perks, I don't really pay attention to these or I don't really prioritize these as often as I do other characters, just because I want the double upgraded EMP. I want to at least single upgrade my grenade if I can, for the increased explosion radius. Plus you have his MERV launcher. For the Mamba, I like the increased magazine size. You go from 30 to 42 in the clip. That's 12, so that's 4 more bursts before you have to reload. That's really helpful, especially if you hit your shots, then you can down 2, maybe even 3 without reloading. And then the second upgrade, reduce the recoil and increase the accuracy. That's huge. I don't think increasing the damage range is that big of a deal. It goes from 29 to 35, so that is a huge increase. It's 6 units in difference, but at the same time, I usually have been spending my money on some perks on the in the other rounds as well. So sometimes I don't get to that third upgrade of my Mamba, and I'm perfectly. If it's there and it's available and I've got everything else I need in the game, then yeah, I'll go for it, whatever. I usually have an axe as well, because with Dima, there's a lot of people that like to push into me, or I like to play aggressive and get in their face, right? For perks, Life Drain is really useful, especially if you're using the Mamba, because you have a slower fire rate than people who are using ARs and SMGs. If you're able to down them and then you get that health regenerated, then that's super helpful. So that's useful. So is Replenish. Both of these perks are 10k for a reason. They're so good. But generally, I try to determine which one of these two I will need, and if I don't need either of them, I feel like, then that's okay with me. Most of the times I go with Replenish if I do get a 10 perk on. But most of the time I'm getting bounce back so that I can reduce my health regeneration delay. That's usually helpful, especially against Phantom. And I feel like shredder rounds is needed if there's an anvil on the other team, of course. But most of the time, this is what my kit is looking like. If I need to go into this and get this, then of course I will. And if I need to give something up for it, it's usually my grenade upgrade. So I'll be looking like this. And this is usually a decent Mamba kit for myself. Now, if you need life drain, then go ahead and grab that instead of replenish. If you need something else, I usually don't use Berserker. I think it's one of the most, I wouldn't say worst perks in the game, because it does have its uses, but in the comp and demolition scene, I really do viable option. Right? Shredder rounds is situational. I don't really use nimble hands anymore either. Increases weapon swap and reload speed. I feel like I put myself in a position where I can reload without needing fast, right? So I don't usually use it. Of course, life drain again is double upgrading the axe. I don't think is needed unless there's a lot of people on the other team with armor and they have tenacity, so my grenades and my Merv launcher isn't doing as effective damage as it should. So maybe then I'll double upgrade this, but usually one upgrade on this is enough if I have the extra cash, and that's because it'll increase, right? The hitbox on the axe I think is a little bit different than the rest of the menu, so being able to increase the throw speed greatly better. Let's talk about if we go with the Ka30 option. So again, this is looking like the same. For the Mamba, we only double upgrade it. For everything else, let's just say this is what we're looking like right now. For the Ka30, the gun is really good, right? It's just as good as the Mamba, I think. It's just maybe people have different opinions are compared to it. Really. But let's talk about this Ka30, right? Increase the magazine size from 30 to 40 is huge. You get 10 extra bullets. That could cost you, that could determine whether you get a kill or be killed in certain situations. And then the second upgrade to it is increase the hip fire accuracy. This is huge because the bloom on this gun is pretty significant. And when you're able to get that increased hip fire accuracy, it reduces that bloom. Boy, oh boy, you are doing some fire magic with it. Again, I usually only double upgrade this gun. If I need to play a little bit farther back and not play so aggressive, or maybe we're on a longer map like Lockdown or Windward in the long range engagements, then of course I'll go with that third upgrade, and we usually have enough money for that kind of thing. But that's pretty much it for Dima's kit and how I use it. What I usually buy, again, I usually double upgrade this EMP most of the time. For the grenade, if I have the extra cash, I'll go with the single and the double upgrade. If not, single's fine enough for me because I have that Merv launcher. I love bounce back on this character, replenish, life drain, whichever one I'm feeling or needing. It's usually replenish though most of the time. And whether I use this gun or this gun just depends on what map and how I'm feeling that day. Both are very viable options. Again, it's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think and how you guys play Dima's kit in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Twitter at realBluTV with no E in blue. And keep grinding, everyone. Stay safe and set some goals and crush them, everyone.